How's everyone doing today? Welcome back to Sin City Crypto Live. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts. And today, like every single weekday, coming at you live from our studio here in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada, with our daily live show. We have a packed show today. We got some alpha. We got some news. Celsius assets have been bought. What companies behind them and how much money could potentially be dumped on the market? Is Celsius 2.0 coming? Also, the diary of Caroline Ellison has been found, and it'll be used against Sam Bankman-Fried. What was in that diary? We'll discuss that. And finally, Brad Garlinghouse announced he sees a verdict coming not in months, but in weeks, right around the corner. And on the back end, we had a top defense lawyer for Ripple just quit. Is that a good, positive sign, negative sign? We're going to discuss that and much, much more. But first, I'd like to introduce you to your second co-host, Miami Rob.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, well, we're an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take all that old, boring, and stale information that the other channels give you, but we package it up in a fun and sexy way. Sin City Flair. Vegas Flair.
Tree City West wants to know, dang, where'd my membership go? Well, you were gifted a free one for a month, and then if you don't renew it, it expires. So if you'd like to keep your membership, you can always renew it.
It's $2.99. You get lots of emojis.
Yeah.
And some videos. You know, we need to get more members videos going. That's what we need.
Speaking of supporting the channel, we have a channel sponsor that we'd like to give a shout out to, Cam's Blue Wire Technology. Today's show is brought to you by them. Cam's Blue Wire Technology provides your business with scalable IT solutions so you can focus on new revenue streams for your business. If you'd like more information, go to bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. Now, Robin, I sitting there yesterday and I was like, man, I haven't seen Rob in a while.
You miss me?
I miss Rob. I was like, let's see if I can find more pictures of him. I mean, I found a picture of you.
Why do I feel like it's not going to be a picture of me?
You're at a bar and, what
do you got here?
So, when you're at a crowded bar and hear someone utter the word Bitcoin, ears have grown a little, but all jokes aside, though, like we go out and we talk about Bitcoin, and 90% of the people around us, they look at us like we're crazy. You go to somewhere like Bitcoin Miami or a crypto or Bitcoin conference, it's nice to be around people that kind of speak your language. But from your personal experience, do you feel like more and more people around your everyday life, whether it's friends, family, friends of family, gatherings, whatever, are more kind of intrigued by crypto when you bring it up, or has it gotten worse? Has it gotten better from your personal experience?
I think that the fact that Bitcoin has staying power and has been here as long as it has, I think it's now has a seat at the table. And I don't think a lot of people are thinking that Bitcoin's a fraud. I think general thought is, hey, I missed the boat on Bitcoin. I wish I'd have got it earlier, which I usually follow up with, it's cheap. You can buy it now. It's on discount. It's going to keep going up. And compared to the dollar, no brainer here as far as holding value long term. And so I think that's the number one narrative for me. I missed the boat. But two is, if there is negative, someone speaks negatively about crypto or Bitcoin, usually we circle back around to FTX and scams and doesn't really address any of the underlying issues. So I think once people come around to the idea that, hey, like nobody's ever going to say they missed the boat on gold, right?
Right. It's also been around for 2,000 years.
Exactly. But the thing is that they don't look at it as, hey, I want to, I missed the chance to make money on it. But people realize that, hey, it might be a smart idea to hold gold. And I think that the narrative and the thought is shifting when it comes to Bitcoin. And I think that same ideology where you have in gold, because you can just, somebody that has no experience in crypto, you'd be like, hey, do you think it's a smart idea to own gold? Like, yeah. Do you think it's a smart idea to break it down and try to buy things with it? No. But you do realize that in the financials, the financial environment that we have now, it's probably a smart idea to have a little bit of gold. Protects your investments, right? It protects your purchasing power. Good store value. Yeah. And people are shifting that thought in Bitcoin. That's what I'm excited about, and it's not there yet. Not with mainstream retail, but it's getting there.
I haven't understood the whole gold versus Bitcoin. Like, you got to pick one. You don't have to pick one. Yeah. Like, you can invest in both. If I got a pawn shop, it's good to diversify.
If I got a pawn shop, it would be kind of stupid of me to be like, I'm only buying gold. You bring that silver and platinum up here? No, you're gonna take whatever. You're gonna take it all, baby. You know. So my thing is, like, why on earth would you go all in on just Bitcoin? Why would you go all in on just gold if you're running a business? And for me, I'm running a business. I'm not going all in on Bitcoin. Because you know what? There's other assets out there. There's other commodities. There's other items in the crypto space that bring value and that people are willing to buy and sell. And if I run a pawn shop, some people want silver. You know, your boy don't look good in gold. I got everything in silver. Silver, you know, how you doing? So, you know, there's a demographic for these different items in the retail sector, whether it's a pawn shop with commodities as far as in precious metals, or if it's your average Joe Schmo here that's just trying to participate in the digital revolution. And hey, I want some exposure to Ethereum, but I'm not going to go all in on gold. Not going to go all in on that Bitcoin gold, but I will go all in on that Canadian $5.50 super chat we got dropped by Jeff K. Jeff K.
Flux team. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So Flux team, nice meeting you in Miami. Nice meeting you as well. I got a Telegram with you, and we're actually putting together all our contacts. So for those people that we met down in Miami, I'm excited to build partnerships, have people discussing what they're building as well. And the future of our space, man, and the more perspectives we can bring to our show, to our viewers,
you guys are gonna see a shift up in who we bring on the show and what kind of information that's brought to you guys. So our goal is to bring as much value to you guys as possible. And
also, my goal is for this channel to be number one, baby. We ain't messing around. Can I get some bullhorn sound, Rocco? There it is.
Just don't do the weird bull thing.
Well, we're not in the bull market yet.
Oh, sorry.
Bitcoin's struggling.
Okay.
But what's not struggling is Ambition Roadmap and this channel. We got big things coming down the pipeline, so we're excited to grow this thing with you guys. So,
it's a huge week for parents, for me personally. School is out. And if you got kids and, young kids under the age of 12, you know what they like to do when they're bored. And what they like to do is they like to eat. And so I have my grocery bill is already starting to go up. So I tweeted this out. Parents, how do you keep your grocery bill from skyrocketing now that school is out? Mind Your Biz said, I forced them to tend to our garden, to which I said, looks like we're buying a garden. Dimple Chad said, put them on a diet. Any of these ideas, Robin, you endorse any of these? Taco Tuesday every day, feed them bugs. You got kids. You know what they'd like to do when they're bored. They like to just eat. Raid the fridge, raid the pantry. Grocery bills go up. Everything's expensive now.
Okay, I'll just say this. If you're budgeting your groceries, and you're like, all right, I need to, spend less on groceries. And we are made up of what we eat. And so if you put trash in, you're gonna feel like trash, right? And if you drink a carton of orange juice every morning, you're gonna have gout and probably die early. If you eat fast food 3 times a day, you're probably gonna have a surplus of calories and die early. So for me, for my personal health, I try to eat healthy, and I don't mind paying more for food. And so for me, I'm not trying to lower my bill when it comes to my groceries. If anything, I look at where else can I cut, because I don't want to cut back. I don't want to all of a sudden go from buying nutritious foods to buying trash because I want to cut back on my spending. Now, if I have 4 different memberships to to different video platforms that I don't watch. All of a sudden, I'm like, how often do I watch Showtime and HBO? And I got the 7 other memberships. And you know what? I keep buying Starbucks every freaking day. There's certain things you can cut out. But what I say to you, David, is don't go cheap on your food, bro. Don't go out there trying to buy, like some today, tomorrow, and the next day we're having ramen noodles. Not from the ramen noodle restaurant, but this little cardboard noodles that have been sitting in a warehouse for 3 weeks. And so to you, David, don't skip on the bill.
Wow, thanks for that, Robert.
More nutritious food. Thank you.
I feel like Orrin Bowers hit the nail on the head. Send him to the grandparents' house. That's actually not a bad idea.
That's actually a good idea. That is a good idea.
You know what else is a good idea? Apparently, according to Crypto.com, listing Pepe is a good idea. As you can now buy Pepe, the popular meme coin, on Crypto.com. We've seen Pepe rise the ranks faster than what we saw from SHIB, what we saw from other meme coins. It's been, a few weeks, a month, close to a month, I believe. It was towards the end of April when Pepe was launched. You feel safe saying now that Pepe's kind of marked its territory and is here to stay, or you think this thing is just going to fade out like 99% of these meme coins?
I think they're going to fade, but the fade is going to be long drug out. And just like Sega Genesis, because your boy's a video game at heart, big fan there.
You are a video game. Is that what you're identifying as?
No, I'm just saying I'm through and through passionate about video games.
Okay.
And Sega Genesis, they had a
that was my first console, by the way.
Yeah, they were leading the market for a while, and then it was a slow and gradual removal of that brand, and it didn't happen.
That's what you think it's going to happen to Pepe?
Yeah, I think that.
So why do SHIB and Doge have?
No, I'm saying all 3 of those. All of that.
Hold on.
All of that is going to fade over time.
You're saying Doge is going to fade?
Yeah.
You are high.
Compared to the rest of the market, yes, it's going to fade.
Doge will be a top 20.
Top 20. Okay, let me explain something to you. What is crypto here to do? Right, is to shake up the financial sector. And so right now you got DJs is over here sending money, here and there, being cute, having your NFTs. But at some point, do you believe? Let me ask you a question. We're going to talk about this later. Do you think Ripple versus SEC? You think Ripple's going to win?
Yes.
Okay. What is their business model?
Their business model is make money.
Yeah, it's to facilitate the movement of money between corporations, central banks, things of that nature, and they are going to be successful at that. I honestly believe that. And there's also going to be a bunch of other players in the space.
Doge is also going to be successful.
So when you're talking about the movement of money that is comparable to Visa, MasterCard, American Express, you take those. You're talking about the market cap of gold being surpassed by Bitcoin. When we're talking about ETFs and these commodities, and also other crypto digital assets trading on open exchanges, this is going to be so much bigger than a meme coin. There's no way meme coins are going to keep up. It's like comparing, hey, will Shiba Inu be in the same race as American Express, Visa, MasterCard, Apple, and Microsoft? That is going to be the next level that crypto is going to get at. That's where it's going to be at eventually. It's going to be the world's most respected companies right there alongside those. They're going to be moving the money around the world. It's going to replace.
They're saying Doge is not going to be here.
Do you think Doge will ever compete with Visa? I'm curious.
They have they're not.
No, I'm just saying that like the amount of money that Visa moves around the world.
They're not trying to compete with Visa.
I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying that like
it's literally what you just said.
You're saying. I'm not saying. I'm saying. Listen, Doge, the amount of money that it has, the amount of community that it has, the amount of money that moves every day through the channels that is Doge, through their network, do you think that will ever be comparable to Visa, MasterCard, and American Express?
Why would that matter? That's not the purpose it serves.
That because what I'm saying is that our top crypto assets will be on par with Visa, MasterCard, and American Express. That is going to be the new financial channels in the future. And so if the top 10 crypto assets is Bitcoin, surpasses the market cap of gold, Ethereum surpasses all of Visa transactions through scaling and other methods. Then you got Cardano. It ends up being the go-to remittance payments, and also just different currencies throughout the African nations. I'm just saying, like in a bullish scenario, I'm just forecasting out here, or these household names will be replaced with others. But the premise behind crypto is that the entire globe is going to be using crypto. The entire planet. And all money is going to, at some point, touch crypto. And in the same way you have a banking account, it is going to cross the rails of crypto at some point. We're seeing it with CBDCs. These things are all going to move digitally through one another. And I'm sorry, but a utility or a community coin that people are speculating on is not going to have the same seat at the table of Visa, MasterCard, and American Express, or the comparable crypto market cap size and participation financially that those have. That's what I'm saying. And right now, maybe in the next 4 years, the next 8 years, until we get to that point, sure, 100%, Doge will be in the top 10. But when it won't be in the top 10 is when everybody's using crypto, and instead of cash apping, it's some layer 2 blockchain, and we're sending crypto back and forth. Gam doesn't even know she's sending crypto. She's just over here sending somebody birthday money, $100 through her phone. Little does she know she's sending crypto. Everybody's using crypto. Doge ain't got a seat there, bro. Sorry.
So all I heard was you hate Doge.
Not at all.
You guys agree with Robin, or do you disagree? You think Doge is going to cease to exist in the, I don't know.
I'm not saying it's going to cease to exist. I'm just saying it's not going to be a top 10. It's not going to be top 20.
That's what you said.
Eventually, when crypto finds its way, when the crypto generation and world is built and everybody's using crypto, it's not enough utility for it to have a seat at the table. Not in the top 10, not in the top 20.
You guys agree with Robin that when we see mass adoption in crypto, Doge will no longer be relevant. Put a 1 if you think it will not be relevant. Put a 2 if you think it will still be relevant. My vote is 2.
I'm going to use our chat to put 1. Thank you.
Of course you are.
Leading the charge. In case you're wondering who put the 1 there, it's me.
Yeah, we know because you said it out loud.
You see that? It says Doge fade, put a 1. So yeah. I got a fresh fade too. How you doing?
Okay, Rob, why don't we take a quick intermission here? Why don't we show some love to our friends?
All right. If you are new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. We have Grid 414, Creek Kong. We got Pokemon, Rockstar, Cola Gomez, Ricardo Ruvalacaba. And then also, as we mentioned from Fluxing, we got Hefke, Leroy Essel, Tree City West, and then also Pump as well. And if I missed your name, say, hey, you missed my name. And then I'm going to drop an hola back at you. So to all of you that are new, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Anton brought up a good point, and he said, I tend to agree with Rob, but if one of the most influential people in the world and richest creates the app of apps and integrates Doge.
Here's the thing. If Doge were to expand its use case and it were to be the go-to digital asset for moving money around, then absolutely.
But you said it can't.
No, in its current form. I'm talking about meme coins in the form that they are now, where they don't do crap for our industry other than you can send it to one another.
Don't do crap. Shib is blazing the trails with Shibarium.
Go. Yeah.
They have taco stands.
You leave Shibarium.
What's better than adoption than that?
What language are you speaking over there?
I don't know.
But here's the thing. Like, would it surprise me? Yeah. Do I think it's out of the realm of possibility that Doge becomes a currency? No, you know what? It has an inflation that's comparable to the US dollar. And it also is pretty decentralized.
Doesn't have a cap.
And yeah, I mean, if you were to use
It's got a dog.
It's pretty diluted, so it actually would make it for a good currency. As you know, the big thing is on the optics. You're like, I don't want to spend my Bitcoin because I mean, what's it? Well, I go to buy a cup of coffee and it costs me 0.00004 Bitcoin. Kind of confusing, right? And you're like, this is blasphemy. Last week I paid 0.000375, and now it's 0.00004. Like that doesn't make much sense. But if you have something that's a little lower, like hey, cup of coffee cost half a Doge, and then the next day cup of coffee costs 0.55 Doge. It's all it makes more sense. You can keep with less zeros. You can keep track of the price a little bit easier, right?
That's
makes a little more sense. How much does a Big Mac cost in Doge? What do you think?
I love Big Macs.
You love Big Macs? Good for you.
So speaking of big. Not Big Mac, but Big Shaq has now officially been served in the FTX lawsuit during Game 4 of the.
I saw Shaq when I was down in Miami.
Is this the game that he got served? Was that Game 4 you went to on Sunday?
Yeah. No, I went to Game 3. Well, I didn't go to the game. You know what's funny? I gotta say something here, man.
Is this story time?
No, it's just irritated time. Okay. So I was gonna go to the game, and they were like $500 a ticket. To get in the door was $200, and so I was looking at $500 tickets. And then he's like, well, I couldn't get tickets, whatever. I'm not trying to drop $500. Let's go to dinner instead. So we go to a steakhouse outside the arena. 2 people, $1,000, $500 a piece. I'm like, man, I could have been in the damn game, man.
Wait, what? The hell did you order?
Well, I got a 22-ounce 60-day dry age ribeye. Oscar style with crab meat and asparagus on top.
How much
some
is that
sides, a bottle of wine, and
what kind of wine did you get?
I got my favorite, the La Jota,
from Howell Mountain.
From Howell Mountain, the Napa Valley.
Ooh, good wine.
So it's delicious.
How much was that? $280?
No, it was $310 for the bottle.
More expensive than Vegas, huh?
Miami ain't cheap, man.
Anyways, speaking of so we have that, right? So he got served at a game.
Yeah, so anyways, I spent $500 on dinner outside the arena. And the whole premise was the guy I went with didn't want to spend $500 on a ticket. But then anyways, we were having dinner, and then Shaq walks in all hella big.
Dude, he's a big dude,
Jesus, man.
Shaq is a good dude.
You know what's crazy is that Crypto Crow, if you guys know Crypto Crow, he's got another YouTube channel, been in the crypto space for a while.
Big Cardano guy.
He is bigger than Shaq.
No, he's not.
I'm telling you, he's bigger than Shaq. He is bigger than Shaq.
Stop.
He is bigger than Shaq.
He is not bigger than Shaq.
He's bigger than Shaq.
I know Crypto Crow's a big dude. He is not bigger than Shaq.
I'm telling you, man, bigger than Shaq.
Your perception is off.
Guys, I'm telling you. Have you ever seen Crypto Crow? Bigger than Shaq.
No, he's not.
Why haven't y'all hit the like button?
I know. Why am I arguing? Because I've never met Crypto Crow. But I'm assuming Shaq's 7'1". There's no one bigger than him except Yao Ming. So we have that, right? Shaq got served. And I briefly mentioned this in the beginning. This is from the New York Post. Caroline Ellison's diary is going to be a key piece of evidence in Sam Bankman-Fried's fraud case. A diary belonging to Caroline Ellison, the ex-Alameda Research CEO and former girlfriend of Sam Bankman-Fried, has reportedly emerged as a vital piece of evidence. Aside from her notebook, which is filled with handwritten observations, prosecutors also possess electronic documents that she wrote, the report said. Ellison reportedly, quote, expressed personal and professional resentment toward her former lover in the documents. So everyone is coming out against Sam Bankman-Fried. There was one more thing I'd highlighted down here. Right here. The report said it is one of the largest troves of documents ever secured in connection to a white-collar securities fraud case. We all agree Sam deserves to go to jail. But do you think he will? And of course, we're kind of speculating here. We heard the whole FTX 2.0. Obviously, we're assuming Sam's not going to have anything to do with that. He's probably not going to be able to touch anything investment or securities related. But is jail the only thing? Or what are your just general thoughts on that? We haven't talked to Sam in a while. Are you hearing anything? He's going to jail? Is he not? What are your thoughts?
He's going to jail. Like, there's no way he doesn't go to jail. That's number one.
Even if he pleads, agrees to a plea deal where maybe give some damning evidence against CZ?
Oh no, it's
Which
like
the government doesn't
I
like?
didn't even know diaries was still a thing. like, am I in my own little cloud here? Like, I did not know that grown ass women are still using diaries nowadays.
Dear Diary, I installed version 2.22 of QuickBooks.
Jimmy,
Jimmy, I love you, man.
Dear Diary, I installed version 2.
Man.
Good one. But yeah, I did not know that diaries is still a thing for grown ass women, right? I think it's cute for a little girl, but yeah, man, maybe she just doesn't got nobody to talk to, so she just talks to her book.
Wow. That's usually, I mean, I don't know.
And like, how did they even figure out she had a diary?
She probably turned it over.
But she, as like, hey, look what I got in here.
Hey, reduce my sentence. I have more evidence.
What other kind of like weird, freaky things you think are in there?
Well, she talked about their in the New York Post. I didn't highlight or talk about it, but I read it through it. She did talk about her polyamory.
Because they had like a big sex parties things down there as well.
Orgies.
Yeah.
What if you write a diary after you get arrested?
I think you can tell, right?
That's actually
it's like the filler, right? Because there's like the weird days, like you can like pick days that are monumental, but then you can't like fake the filler days. You know, the boring Sunday.
What do you think she wrote in a diary? Like, what was you think her craziest story in there about Sam?
You write a
One day
diary,
I
you're
woke
no
up
longer
and-
a snitch. That's the difference.
One day I woke up to a. Never mind.
Does anybody in our chat have a diary? I'm curious.
I tried a diary when I was like 8 for like a week, and then
Men are not supposed to have diary. If you are a dude and you got a diary, man,
Are you judging?
I'm just
Hey,
saying
bro,
that.
to some people, that's their outlet. They could do a lot worse thing with their emotions.
I'm not saying
Then
it's
jot
a
it down
bad.
on a piece of
I
paper.
just don't. Okay, out of all the friends I've ever had, I've come across a couple ladies that have had diaries. Very, very few and far between. But I never
What
came
if
across.
your
I
wife
never
has
came
a-
across a guy that
What
had a
if your
diary.
wife has a secret diary? What if my wife has a secret diary? We don't know. Dear Diary, today I heard the term stop loss for the first time. Guys, what do you think is the craziest thing she wrote in her diary? Share some funny ones and we'll share them on the show. One day I woke up to Sam eating a whole cucumber over my bed. All right. This was pretty interesting. I saw this and then we'll get into the markets. So good crypto usage data. This is from the Federal Reserve, okay? So this is kind of what they put out. So this is one of their tables, cryptocurrency use in percentages. Bought or held as an investment from 11% in 2021 to 8% in 2022. That is the largest use case according to this data for cryptocurrency. Bought or held as investment, used to buy something or make a payment, only 2%. Used to send money, only 2%. Any use dropped 2%. Then you have this. Main reason people use crypto for financial transactions. Leading the way was person or business receiving money preferred cryptocurrency. 21% to send money faster, also 21%. Privacy and cheaper. Okay, so you have the top 4. Preferred, faster, privacy, cheaper. Does that pretty much sum up how cryptocurrency or what it's looking to change in our current financial system? Don't trust banks. That's 5%. Other 10%.
It's basically a gauge on what do you hate the most about money that we have now? What are you most pissed about? Well, banks. The uncertainty that we've had in the climate lately. How long it takes to send some damn money? Why the hell? It's 2022. Why are 2023? Excuse me. Why are we still taking 3 days to send some money?
It's, you know what the ridiculous thing is?
In the same state?
No. Like, we have a PayPal account and a bank account. So I was trying to send money from our bank account to our PayPal account to pay for a service. 4 days.
What
4
service
days.
you paying for?
Huh?
What kind of service you paying for? You gotta be careful saying paying for service in Vegas, man. There's a lot of services you can pay for.
You'll
in
never
Vegas.
find out. It's in my diary. All right.
Rocco, can I get some like trombone sound there?
Of course you will. Don't worry. You guys are a team
so
here.
bad.
It was so bad
Sin
that
City
Trombone
Rocco
didn't play.
and yeah. I think one day
Yeah.
you might see me in the news. Man attacks elderly man, and that's going to be me attacking
Elderly
Rocco.
man. That's a good one. Hold on.
There's-
Elderly man.
So here was also interesting, guys, and the reason I'm kind of sharing this is from the Federal Reserve, okay? It's not some random Twitter page. It's not some random thing someone did. This is from the Federal Reserve. Crypto use by demographic, right? Family income, right? Between 25 and 50,000, you're looking at 7% cryptocurrency use. The highest being families that make over 100 grand or more. And 9% people making less than 25K. You look at the age brackets, 30 to 34, highest at 15%. You add, if you go from 18 to 44, you're looking at close to 30%. Race, ethnicity, you can take a look here. Minorities, right? Black, Hispanic, and Asian, higher than the non-minorities, right? Gender, of course, and I say of course because, we always talk about needing more women in our space, making it more kind of inclusive to women and not seen as this like, oh, crypto bros, even though that's what the politicians use. 14% to 7%. This is among adults. And then the last one here, adults with income of 100,000 or more were more likely to hold crypto as an investment, whereas those with income less than 25K were more likely than those with higher to use crypto for financial transactions. So people making more money are using crypto as an investment. People making less money are using crypto as
Well, you
a
can
use
also
case.
make an argument that if you are in the six-figure category as far as income, you're probably a little bit you've probably a little bit wiser with your money, right? You're more
making
savvy.
100 grand a year.
Yeah. Okay.
You can argue that.
Yeah, I think the people that are that have a higher
I've
salary.
met some dumb people who make 100
No,
grand a year.
I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying that generally,
dumb people.
generally, if you make a lot of money, usually you've figured out, you're more responsible. You probably have a some kind of education, whether it's formal education or you've kind of gone through and got certifications yourself, or you've kind of self-taught, or you've learned a new industry. So I think that the people that make more money are a little bit more savvy when it comes to finances, and I think that they're a little bit more wiser there. I'll just put it that way. But there's some people that are stuck in, they're stuck, and they might like their trade, they might be doing something that they're passionate about that doesn't pay as much or whatever it is, or maybe they're just kind of new in the game, but.
Goncalo Leitao said, I make 12K a year and I invest in crypto. Well, you are the anomaly, my friend. Congratulations. All right, Robin, let's take a look at the markets, what the markets are doing.
All right, real quick, I do want to give a shout out to some of the new people. If you're new here, say hello so I can drop an hola back at you. We have Robert Triana, Cree Kong, Crypto Locks, Jose Rojas, Crypto Father of 3, Crypto Lyrics.
I'm also a father of 3.
Amp Knight, Juan Carlo Liatao.
Goncalo Leitao.
Yes. And then American Therapy as well. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Also, we got Matt Chu up in here. I was talking to him yesterday about Gala.
Love Matt.
So
That's a good dude.
I was like, hey man, did you play Grit? Remember we were talking about it last night?
Yep.
So it just dropped yesterday, and available you can play it on all the PC, just like anyone that has a PC with their traditional like game launchers like Epic and Steam. You can get on there, play Grit. So very comparable launch to some of the AAA franchises like Call of Duty, things of that nature, where hey, you just go to the same store, you download it there. So very excited about that. And we'll also have Jason Brinkman on the show next week. So we're going to talk a little bit
It's
of
not
Gala.
Brinkman, it's Brink.
Brink?
Yeah.
Is it Brink? I thought it was Brinkman.
Call him Bitbender.
Bitbender.
Yeah.
And then Matt Chu also said he's got some community questions.
I said on the show, I said last week, when Gala did the burn and they said, we're burning because we don't want the community to think we're dumping on them. And I said, if we bring him on the show, I'm going to flat out ask him, like, that just doesn't make sense to me. And I will be asking him that. I'd be like, Jason, with all due respect, I saw you guys burn $600 million. I was just a little confused as to why you would do that. Why care more about the optics of what the community thinks versus using that money to build out the ecosystem? And I'm curious to see what he's going to say.
No, well, you burn the tokens. What you have left is essentially will rise in value, theoretically. So, I mean,
it's a question I'm curious to get an answer to.
Here's the thing. If you burn tokens, you never burn market cap. Remember that.
Correct.
And so if all of a sudden we burned half the Bitcoin, for example, then...
Unless there's demand.
No, it doesn't. Now, there are cause and effect to burning. I'm not saying that nothing happens, but I'm just saying at its core value, when you burn a lot of tokens, let's say you burn 10% of your tokens, it doesn't change the market cap at all. Just makes the asset a little bit more scarce. And there are people that can say, Gala hasn't had the best tokenomics. That's been one of their gripes in the past.
Massive inflation.
Yeah. So, maybe they're just simply addressing that. And
Miguel Costa said, Gala won't go lower because Jimmy owns 10% of the supply.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, we will be taking some community questions from you for Gala. So we'll probably put a post up on YouTube. Have your notifications on so when we do post it, you'll get it. And then we'll pick a couple comments.
I don't think I said hola to my peoples.
You did.
Did I?
Yes, I'm positive you did. But what you haven't done is... What's the longest you've ever gone without saying that?
Oh, man, it's been a while. Well,
like, at what point do you start getting the anxiety? Like, oh my God, I haven't said hola.
The other day I was brushing my teeth and I said hola with like toothpaste in my mouth and I had all the toothpaste on the mirror.
I believe
Bird
you.
Was scared.
I actually believe you.
No, it's not.
Why don't we take
lying.
a look? Let's take a look at the crypto markets.
The markets. Yes. Bitcoin, $26,343 and a flat 0 pennies. Wow. Now, kind of similar to where we were yesterday. A little bit of a pullback this week, though. Obviously, we dropped $1,000. So taking a look on the weekly here, sitting over 26.8. We were over 27,000, pulled down. So what's going on in the markets, man? What's going on with Bitcoin? Are we going to go to 25? I thought we were on our way to 30, man.
You were wrong.
I was feeling the vibe, man.
Admit that you were wrong.
Oh, yeah, I was wrong.
Thank you.
Every once in a while.
Who was right? It was me.
Right. But Ethereum's still sitting at 1,800. Strong support there. Is the days of $1,500 Ethereum, is that long gone? No more?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think if Bitcoin can get to 22K, I think ETH will go under 1,500.
Are you a buyer of Ethereum?
Hell yeah.
Which one you going to buy first? Bitcoin at 21,000 or Ethereum at $1,450?
Considering my current porfolio or what I have now, or just blank slate?
I give you $2,000. I'm like, hey man,
blank slate.
Guess what, bro? Yeah, you got option A. Option A, you got Bitcoin, 21, and you got Ethereum sitting at $1,450.
I'm going Bitcoin. Yeah.
Okay.
Halving's around the corner. I think a spot ETF is coming soon. As more, Germany just officially entered into a recession. I think
The Germans?
Okay. I think more and more people are going to be receptive to storing their wealth in something like Bitcoin. So
Germany's in a recession, bro.
That's what I'm saying. That's recession, yeah?
Yeah.
We're not in Portugal.
And then some of the biggest losers. Today we got Singularity Net up 17%, but losers we got Flare down. Synthetics down as well, 3%. Neo down 3%. Algorand down 3%. Oh, not too much red, but we got more green than red. And
X continues to bleed.
Yeah,
down 15 points. Down.
Take a look here. The bubbles. Where are my bubbles?
Actually, I have it pulled up on my laptop. There you go.
There we go.
Okay, there you go.
So les boublés. You can see on the visual. Dang, Hex down 15%.
What I'm saying.
Pulse chain down 13%.
Go to the week. Click on the week.
Dang. What is it? What does this thing got left? Anything? This thing's been shedding like my cat, bro.
El gato.
Yeah, man. That thing, there's so much fur balls everywhere, dude.
You know, Rob, before we get into this, you know, the community is starting to chime in. What would you guys buy? Bitcoin at 21,000 or ETH at 1450?
1 Bitcoin, 2 Ethereum. You got 2 racks. Sin City Crypto gifted you $2,000. What are you going to YOLO into? That Bitcoin or that Ethereum?
Not considering what you already have in your portfolio. Just blank slate.
What do you want to
21,000?
$21,000 Bitcoin or
Ethereum?
$1,400 Ethereum?
Yeah. Let us know.
So you can see here, all-time highs got up to 50 cents, but realistically, probably 40 cents was kind of where it was at its high point, down to a penny. Let that sink in. 40 cents down to a penny. Now, we've had a lot of pullback on projects throughout the bear market compared to where it was in the bull market. But that's a pretty big swing, man. I mean, we can go down the list. Cardano, this got up to $2. We can say $2.50 is kind of where it was hanging out with for majority of the bull market, down to 35 cents. And so that's like an 80% drawdown. And then you can take a look at, I mean, you can just pick any, I would say Polygon's pretty strong performance here in the bear market. Okay, Solana got beat up, right?
I've been DCing into Solana. Man.
So Solana got hit hard with the whole FTX thing. So you can see like, wow, like this really bled off. Now this went from 200 down to 20. So that's over 90% down. But I think that's actually pretty comparable to Hex, right? Yeah. But
I don't know. I read somewhere that and this could be wrong, or I could have interpreted it wrong, but a lot of people are unstaking their Hex. Not sure if there's a reason for that.
But the thing is a lot of people locked up Hex long term.
You can still unstake it at any time.
No,
give up.
Nope.
Sure?
Nope. 100%. There's our friend Garvin's locked up for years. And then there's people out there that have locked up for 14 years, bro.
I know the max was 15 years, I believe.
Yeah, there's
but I thought you could.
No, that's the whole that's the whole thing about Hex is that people are locking it up for ungodly amount of time. Like you don't know what's gonna happen in our space. Like why on earth would you ever lock something up for more than 2 years? And even a year is crazy to me, but over 2 years, that's nuts. Like that's nuts. Like Ethereum broke at one point in 2015. When did they break?
2015.
2015. Yeah. And you had ETH Classic. That was 8 years. Who's to say that can't happen again? And so there was flaws with Ethereum. Was last year there was a situation where there was a catastrophic piece of code in the Ethereum network that did not get exploited, that was patched up, and after the fact they were like, "Woo, hey man, we had a vulnerability there that we didn't know." Could have taken down the whole fucking network. And Hex, or the Pulse chain, is a copy of the Ethereum network. So what I'm saying is that why on earth would you lock up for more than 4 years when history has said that these things break? And why would you take that chance? For what? If you think it's going to be here for that long, if you think it's the absolute coming of Messiah, whatever religious coming of whatever. Anyways, what I'm saying is that if you truly believe in it, then just simply buying it now and holding it, the value is gonna 100x anyways, right? In the course of 10 years. If I buy Bitcoin right now at 20 grand, then I know that in 10 years, it's gonna be at least $1 million. And for anything outside of the Bitcoin standard, anything outside of Bitcoin, and we go down in the altcoins, anything that I buy today, if it is still here operating and successful 10 years from now, anything I buy from now, right now, is gonna 100x. 100% gonna 100x. There's no way it doesn't because of the trend of the market cap. It'd be like, hey, if I invest in a company that is publicly traded in the 1930s and it's still here in the year 2000, you know you're gonna be a multi-billionaire, right? And so if you believe in that project for the long term, you don't need to stake it. Just buy it and hold it. But why lock it up to where you can't get it out?
Look on your screen, Robin.
What?
This is from hex.com. You can end it earlier with the emergency end stake function. It'll cost you a penalty, though. And I believe it's a pretty high penalty. So, yeah. Either way, I agree with you, though. Why would you do it for 15 years? I mean, I was hesitant to lock up my ETH, not knowing when the thing was going to launch. And that's the number 2 cryptocurrency project in the entire space. I know the Hex community is big. I know they believe in Richard. I've said it multiple times. I think Richard Hart is a smart guy. He's just very loud, very out there, very... he's a polarizing figure, so people land on one side or the other. They love him or they hate him. If you can decipher the noise from what he's actually saying in his message, dude's a smart guy. He knows his stuff. I personally don't invest in any of his projects, but if you do, it's your money,
It says here they cannot emergency stake 90%. So they can only emergency unstake 10%. So you can emergency unstake 10%.
They cannot dump nor emergency end stake 90% of the holdings. Okay.
So
what's the point of that thing?
Yeah, it's for them for marketing. When you say, well, what if I need it? Well, you can emergency unstake. Well, did you read the fine print? That's what I've had conversations with people and I'm like, why don't you get out, man? Take some profits. And they're like, I can't. And I'm just like, well, that sucks, dude.
You know
the average stake time for Hex, 4.2 years.
Damn.
The average. That's longer than a whole Bitcoin cycle. The project has been around for 3 years. Why are you locking it up longer than it is? That's like sending your kid off to college, sending your kid off to school. They're 4 years old and you send them out for 5 years. Like, well, we'll see in 5 years. Like, you haven't even been born for 4 years, man. You're gonna send your kid off for 5. Like,
it's a terrible analogy.
It's a great analogy. You know what's also great is this thumbs up button. Why haven't you?
It is, but
why have you not hit the thumbs up?
Yeah. Well,
do you not like this show? Are you not entertained?
Who said that?
Said what?
Are you not entertained?
That's what movie is that from?
Yeah, who was that?
That was Maximus Aurelius.
No. Someone throw the movie out there. Who said that in the
That's
movie?
the one with the guy where he's
the one with the guy. Yeah.
My father of a dead son, husband of a dead murdered wife.
The one with the guy. And then, I remember now. Gladiator.
Gladiator. There it is.
The one with the guy, man.
The one with the guy. My cousin Vinny.
My cousin. Okay.
Yeah, we got 70 likes. Like, what are y'all doing? We're going to end this show right now unless you hit that like button. If you're driving in your car, pull over right now. Put them hazard lights on. Close the chat. Hit the like button. Proceed.
Yeah. I didn't even
Rocco,
bro.
Rocco dropped the outro music.
Damn, Jack the Beanstalk said, big thumbs up to your channel. Big thumbs up to you, Jack. We appreciate you. Also, big thumbs up, hopefully, as apparently we're close to a debt ceiling deal. Biden and McCarthy appear close. I did some reading up on this. So by close, what they mean is now instead of having a list of 100 things they disagree on, they have a list of only 20 things they disagree on. So there's just a few things left they have to go back and forth on. And well, at the end of the day, any negotiator will tell you the best deal is when both sides are a little uneasy where both sides have to give up just a little bit of what they don't want. If one side gets everything they want, it's a bad deal. And so Democrats, Republicans, you're going to have to give into something or multiple somethings. But we know a lot of people have been nervous around this debt ceiling looming, right? June 1st is the date they've been given. Janet Yellen has said we can run out of money before June 1st. We've been showing the Treasury balance sheet. We were down to $66 billion just yesterday. Where are we at now today? I don't have it pulled up. But yeah, fake ceiling. I agree. But at the end of the day, it's something the government runs by. I do not think there is a chance that they let this thing default. Robin thinks there's more of a chance than I do.
I don't think it's any kind of like real fundamental change. I just say that like.
You think there's a
date's
chance?
Getting closer.
So you're saying there's a chance?
It's a possibility. I don't know what I'm saying. It's a possibility.
For me, it's not, because that would put, like, we don't even want to talk about what would happen if the U.S.
You don't
defaults
think
on their
that
debt.
two people on different political parties that don't see eye to eye, that have different interests, could end up prolonging the stalemate that they're already in past 1 week, where, hey, we don't see eye to eye for the next 6 days?
If that's the case, man, then the cards are going to fall.
I'm
and at that point,
I'm
a week
not
later,
saying that
there's
it
no
wouldn't be
point.
bad. I'm
a
just
week
saying,
later, there's no point. Just
I'm
let it
saying
keep
that
going.
it's
just collapse the entire
At this
system.
point, nothing the politicians do would surprise me, man.
You think
after what they pulled on us in 2020 with this whole pandemic? Like, did you ever think they were just going to airdrop you $4,500 in a check form? Like if it was 2019, like, hey man, guess what? Both Biden and Trump just going to throw checks at you. They're going to just give you $2,000 a pop. Your 16-year-old going to get one too. Like, what? Why? Like everybody, millionaires, and then guess what? That's just for the regular people. If you have a business, an LLC, hey man, guess what? We just give you $80,000.
I got a business. I didn't get $80,000.
Well, you missed out. All you got to do is apply for that PPE loan. That was it. And, quantitative easing, telling you how many people you can have at a dinner table. Mask up, baby. Hey, nothing these politicians say. Nothing that happens from this day moving forward was surprising from politicians. I wouldn't be surprised if we nuke somebody. I wouldn't be surprised if we go to war with somebody. I wouldn't surprised. Now, I'm saying these are all extremely minute chances. But at this point, my perception of the U.S. government and what the politicians are capable of, that's all out the window, man. We don't live in this little cush environment anymore where everything's all American and, like, hey, we're going to have the best interests of our people, freedom. Yeah, at our core, it's still there. But there's some people that will align their own personal interests and say, F everybody else, I'm going to do me. And that's what scares me, man.
I'm with Felix on this. Next year's election year, I doubt they let the ceiling crash. Yeah. If the U.S. government defaults under Joe Biden, Democrats will not be reelected.
If I had to put a percentage on it, I'd say 94% chance that this thing gets
99.88.
And I would say that, there's a resounding likelihood, and it's in everybody's best interest to raise this thing up. But all I'm saying is that I think there is a small chance that two people that don't see eye to eye, that got political incentives, could drag this stalemate out longer. That's all I'm saying. That's right.
You know what is, okay, so do you remember, Rocco, don't pull up the laptop yet. Do you remember, Robin, we looked at the CME, the rate hike.
Mm-hmm.
What was the percentage that they thought it was going to be a pause?
I think it was like 30%.
No, a pause for this month.
Oh, for this month, it was like 90% or something like that.
Well, pretty much 50-50 now. So when I showed this with, I believe it was last week or Monday when Forrest was on, we were at over 80%. We are now only 54% for a pause and 45% for another 25 basis point rate hike. I don't think we're going to get a rate hike in the next one. I think CPI is going to come in lower. That is literally the first day of the FOMC meeting is when the CPI number comes out, the headline and the core. And I think it's going to come in sub 5%. I think it's going to be around that 4.5, 4.6%. And they're going to pause. I think there's a reason why people like Neil Kashkari, the president of the Minneapolis Fed, came out and said, even if we pause, doesn't mean we can't continue to hike rates in the future. I think they're going to pause, let the markets kind of settle down.
You think we're going to start cutting?
No. I think
by the end of the year?
Maybe. Probably, yeah.
By 2 percentage points?
No.
Look at the end of the year.
What?
Go up to the top. You click December. The gray box up, to the right.
This?
Yeah. That's the likelihood that's where they're predicting is going to land.
So they're thinking, no, I disagree.
You disagree with the Chicago Mercantile Exchange?
Well, these
it's
are
been
traders.
spot on. That's a 3%, right? That's 3%. They're saying that it's going to line up at 3%, which would essentially be a 2% drawdown. Even in the most tightest of situations where you're saying, hey, the likelihood of us cutting even down a full percentage point by the end of the year. We're already halfway through the year. So by the end of the year, they're saying that like we're going to cut at least 1 full percent. And if you believe so strongly that we're not going to cut, you could make some damn good money by simply by trading or putting a position in on the CME saying, hey, the rates are going to stay flat at 5% throughout the rest of the year. That's a good come up if you truly believe that. But the smart people in the room, the people that have been spot on predicting the interest rates, the people that have not got it wrong at all this year, that group is saying we're going to cut by 2%. Is the likelihood, even in the most tightest scenario, at least 1%. And why? And I think about this. If they cut 2%, why do they cut 2%? Why does the Fed cut interest rates? Think about it. Why, historically, when they have cut 2%, when they have a 50% reduction on the interest rate, why have they done that? Well, it's because of a very, very strong economic signals that either 1, recession, 2, some kind of collapse. We saw COVID. They dropped interest rates from 2 to 0, just like that.
Yeah, but that was under...
You saw the housing crisis. The housing crisis 2009.
But Robin,
the housing crisis 2009. They cut. Give me one time they dramatically cut interest rates and there was nothing going on financial sector. They're like.
Yeah, but you just cited 2 black swan events.
That's what I'm saying. There's going to be another black swan. This thing lines up. It's the same way when you're looking at charts.
What's the black
and you
swan?
can say, hey, the top of Bitcoin was 60,000. There's no way it goes down to 16,000 without a black swan event. Well, that's the whole thing. You get there with black swan events. That's the reason you get there. It's baked in.
So what's the black swan event then?
So I don't know.
Come on, Rob.
I don't know. But when the housing bubble gets up there, something's gonna pop it. When things get overinflated, something's gonna pop it. When a market goes too far in one direction and it needs a correction, something is gonna come in and make that happen. Is it a war? Is it some kind of trade situation? Is it some company going under? Is it a banking crisis? I don't know. Maybe it's the commercial real estate industry just blowing up. I don't know what it would be. But what I'm saying is that something is going to happen in the next 7 months, because historically, when you have a dramatic cut in interest rates, there is a underlying factor that has caused that. And every 10 years, something happens. Major natural disaster, geopolitical mess, war. Every 10 years, there's something that happens that shakes up our environment. And to think that you're going to go a length of period without something globally happening, you're wrong. Something always happens. Always. It's how we react to that is going to define our future.
Speaking of future, let's move on to Ripple and their future in the XRP lawsuit, the Ripple lawsuit. So Robin spoke on this. We spoke on this as a channel, but months, right? Brad Garlinghouse said 2 to 6 months. You remember that, Robin? And you said, why would he say between 2 and 6 months if he obviously thinks it's not going to happen within the first 2 months, right? Or why not just say in the next 6 months?
He had probably been told by his lawyers or other people that have a lot of information on the case, obviously, that the timeline is lining up for two to whatever months. But something changed. Something changed.
We have a video.
His tone has changed.
We got a video.
Let's go.
He said weeks, not months. So it's Judgment Day upon us. Rocco, cue up the laptop.
Now, in terms of where things stand today, I'll try to not get too much into the legal weeds. You are right that I feel very confident that we'll see a decision from the courts in this year. In fact, I think I would guess it'll be in weeks, not months. There's some decisions that happened last week that you may have read about, that the judge ruled against the SEC's effort to redact certain information about a very kind of infamous speech that the then director of corporate finance, a guy named Bill Hinman, gave, talking about why ETH, in his view, was not a security. And the court just ruled last week that the notes and emails associated with that are going to be made public and should be public around June 13th. So I think that's a huge win for transparency. But what really calls out is there hasn't been clarity. And despite calls and demands from leaders across the crypto industry, we haven't seen that yet. But as I said, Ripple decided to lean in and fight this fight, both for Ripple, but for the whole industry. We've spent a lot of money defending it. And I think what we've called out is really that the government in the United States and the SEC particularly is putting politics ahead of smart policy. And because of that, you're seeing entrepreneurs go overseas. You're seeing companies like Ripple. Most of our hiring is non-US now. Most of our customers, as I mentioned, are non-US. And so I think it's kind of to be expected.
Weeks, not months. Weeks, not months. And then we had, we're going to piggyback on this. And we do have a poll up. Make sure you cast your vote. One of Ripple's top defense lawyers calls it quits in the U.S. SEC lawsuit. And there's a few angles people have pitched as to why. Is this a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Again, make sure to cast your vote. One of Ripple Labs' key defense lawyers, attorney Kylie Kim, announced withdrawal from the case. She filed a motion in the Southern District of New York indicating she is no longer linked to the law firm, that big named law firm. Currently representing the crypto firm. Here we go. The filing revealed that her departure from the case has nothing to do with Ripple and its representatives. Instead, she is leaving the law firm representing the defendants. So, of course, people started chatting. And we had this from James Phelan, who tweeted this with the document of her leaving, to which this person, Morsi Q, said, I see this as good. She probably has been waiting for this lawsuit to finish so that she could finally switch work or corporation. She probably could not leave in the midst of this whole thing. Now that they are finally done, she can do that. So, Robin, is this a sign that, all right, my job here is done. This thing is over. Ripple's going to win.
I think people are just overanalyzing this. You just have somebody that works at a company that move jobs, right? And it would be like if you keep taking your car to the same auto body shop and then the main mechanic that works on it went to another auto body shop. Doesn't mean that all of a sudden he hates Mercedes.
Yeah, but you don't leave
Hondas.
mid.
He's like, you left Mercedes and he went to BMW.
No.
Like,
but you don't. But you bring your Mercedes in, and I start working on the car, and halfway through, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go to BMW.
But you're not gonna be like, hey, all of a sudden your auto body shop is there's something must be wrong here because somebody left for another company. No, people leave all the damn time. It's not an indictment on the company or the institution that the person left. And so the fact that a lawyer left a law firm and went somewhere else, that's just normal stuff. Now, if the law firm had stopped representing Ripple and then all of a sudden another law firm stepped in, like, that's something else. Like, but you got one of their team members.
This is a key defense lawyer.
Well, what is she supposed to do? Okay. So if you work for a company and you're just like, yo, you're not allowed to quit until our customer that we've been servicing for 2.5 years finishes their lawsuit. Like, who knows?
Arguably the biggest
it could be another year. And how do you know? Like, you know the track record of that company? Maybe this is one of their smaller cases. Honestly, we're assuming it's a bigger one, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure
in our space. This is our biggest.
I'm pretty sure that this. Look, we got some facts here. Ripple team has 21 lawyers. 21 lawyers. So the second one lawyer leaves, it's
key defense lawyer.
So you're saying, why are you talking like Trump over here? So it's such a non-story. This is such a non-story.
It's a non-story.
Yeah. Okay. If you keep visiting the same family practice, whatever it is, the same office, medical office, and they have 21 doctors there, and the one that you keep going to, the main one,
let me tell you
leaves that practice and goes somewhere else.
Let me tell you this way, bro. If I'm getting dental work done and I go in and my dentist it's a month-long project because you have to take impressions and implant and this and that.
Okay, well, what if it's not a month-long? What if it's 3 years? What if they've been working on that grill of yours for 3 years? You're telling me that the dentist can't leave and be like, hey, you can't leave. He's like, I've been here for 3 years, man. Like, I gotta stay here? Like, this dude's diet is terrible. He eats so many sour gummies, the teeth are falling out,
I'm making you money, so you're welcome.
But what I'm saying is that there's a team of lawyers. One person left to go elsewhere. What is the big deal? This is normal thing. Like, you do it all the time.
It's the timing.
You do it every time. Every time there's a company that has one of their 20 board members quit, one VC of finance or whatever it is, the VC of marketing, they end up going to another job. Like, normal board members are always shuffling around. If they happen to be under a microscope, it's like, oh my God, the vice president of marketing has left the company. What does this mean? It's the same thing. Like, stop overblowing it, man. People move jobs around. How many jobs have you had in your lifetime?
Robin, it is the timing. Also,
they've been in court for 2.5 years.
Okay, I am not a lawyer, okay? But Jason Squires in here, his wife is a lawyer, okay? I'm assuming it would make sense to me, and I'm just throwing it out there. And if so, hold on, let me make my point. If someone knows, feel free to correct me. If you're a lawyer in the middle of a lawsuit, right, you have an obligation to your client. Can anyone, so any lawyer at any point can just leave, even if there's 50 lawyers on the case?
What if they have, let's just say they have 21 lawyers, right? So I'm assuming they have more than one client, right? So at what point in time, if you have 21 lawyers and we would assume, let's just say 100 clients, at what point in time do you have 0 cases? So you can make that argument at any point in time. When the Ripple case is over, you can say that, hey, well, we have the case with this insurance company. We have the case with this company.
But you
we have the case with this company.
New clients. If you know you're moving, you would stop taking. But like I said, I don't know the direct answer to that question.
Okay, there's never going to be a perfect time to leave a job. In the same way, like, there's never like a perfect time. Like, you have a job, you're always working on a project. They're always going to have they're going to be short staffed when you leave. There's never in the history of leaving a job a perfect time to leave. Otherwise, if there is, you weren't that important in the first place, right? If you leave a job and there's no repercussion, the management's like, good ridden, then if you're at all important, if you leave a job, it's always tough on either the consumer or the company. That's just the way it is. So there's never a perfect time to leave a job. And if you're in litigation for 3 years, You can't sit here and be like, guys, we're going to be in a court case for 4 years. Nobody's allowed to leave ever. It's just not allowed. You're not allowed to leave the job. All 21 of you, you cannot quit until this court case is over. And who's to say it even ends in a couple weeks? Who's to say? No, but let's just say, who's to say this thing doesn't go to trial and it's another 3 years? Like, honestly, like it is not out of the realm of possibility that this thing drags out to 6 years. And the whole narrative when this whole thing started was this going to be done in a year. This is going to be done in 6 months. It's been 2.5 years now. And it could be another 2.5 years. And if you expect an entire law firm not to have any movement at all, it's crazy to me. I mean, you have presidents coming in and out of office in the same time frame that this court case has been going on. And we're probably going to have another president come in and out of office by the time this thing's resolved.
Doubt it.
This is all the lawyer. That's Ripple and then
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it.
there's all the number.
And then you got to think of all the other clients they have. Like, there's never a perfect time to leave a company, man.
I just think timing is interesting. I'm saying.
But you could say the same thing if it was 6 months ago. A year and 6 months ago, you could be like, well, you just started the court case while you're leaving. It could have been, 6 months from now, be like, well, we're still waiting for resolution. It's almost here. Why are you leaving? Like, you could always say there's never a perfect time to leave. And if all of a sudden there was a resolution and you decide to quit,
there might not be a perfect time.
That lawyer's probably got 3 other court cases. Be like, oh, you're leaving after the Ripple one. Well, what about the other 3 court cases that you're looking over? What about all of our other clients? So you can always make that argument like, well, it's really interesting.
I want to move on because we're not lawyers, so we're speculating here. But if you are a lawyer or you know a lawyer and you can bring some clarity, let us know. More Ripple news. Ripple has acquired, so apparently they've spent $200 million on this court case. They still got money to throw around because they've just acquired Pantera, their stake in Bitstamp, the cryptocurrency exchange. Ripple took a minority stake in crypto exchange Bitstamp in the first quarter of this year. They acquired the shares previously held by Pantera Capital, which was one of the largest shareholders in Bitstamp until about 2018. The ties between Ripple and Bitstamp date back years. The exchange previously served as a gateway for Ripple's XRP token. Someone in the chat threw on there that that is where a lot of the Ripple liquidity is. What are your thoughts on this, Rob? Ripple continues to make partnerships, continues to make investments. They continue to hire people. They're growing pretty steadily outside of the U.S. Are people sleeping on Ripple, on XRP, and what they can do?
Brad Garlinghouse has been very vocal. Their company is not slowing down. They're still making partnerships, and they're still growing. And one country out of the hundreds that they plan on operating in is not vibing with Ripple. Other than that, everybody else is fair game. All the other companies, all the other institutions that want to use RippleNet, XRP token, they're going to keep building, bro. This is what you do in a bear market. And also, bear market also includes countries and companies that are trying to shut you down. When we saw China was banning Bitcoin, did it stop Bitcoin? No. That network kept growing. And if the U.S. wants to keep trying to sue Ripple and shut them out and keep them out of the U.S. market, go. They're going to keep doing their thing. Their network is going to keep growing. And especially with the partnerships that they're making. They got a long list of them.
Yeah, to me, this is a positive, right? If it does go to what Robin says, another 2 to 6 years, which I don't think is going to happen.
I don't think it's likely, but
you get a judgment and the SEC can appeal and that could drag on.
Okay, let's just say, is it a realistic possibility it goes to trial?
You can say anything is a possibility,
yeah,
sure,
well,
but I think a judgment is more likely, or a settlement. And
I think a judgment is more likely, but the judge could say like, "Hey, this is, this. I think this is, there's a lot of information. There's 2 sides. There's a lot. This is going to have a very big impact on the U.S. financial sector, on the technology sector. maybe the judge doesn't feel comfortable making that decision on her own. And maybe they're like, you know what, let's let a jury of our peers decide the fate of the digital asset landscape. I think it's something that could happen. And if that happens, 2 to 4 years on top of that. I think that the judge has got enough information and that she is capable and feels comfortable making a judgment. And so for that reason, I think that we will get one. But I'm just saying that, hey, man, we could go jury trial, bro. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
It's not out of the possibilities, but I don't think it's practical. I don't think it's going to happen.
But if it happens, 2-4 years, right?
But as an investor in, we saw what the SEC did to the library. They pretty much bankrupted them, right? To the point where they had to drop their fine from 20 some odd million dollars to $100,000. So for me to see Ripple have spent $200 million on this court case, and they still have enough money.
What now? Say you're
as an investor in XRP.
Say you're a judge and you're looking at the laws and the framework that is, because a judge is supposed to use the laws that are there, right, to determine if something is lawful, if it's constitutional, or whatever it is. And maybe the laws and the framework that we have, in the same way that Gary Gensler has beaten this drum that there's framework for digital assets. They've been here since the 1930s. And maybe the judge is looking at it in one view like this, like, hey, the laws aren't aligned correctly, but I'm supposed to interpret the laws. I think that this is a security, even though I personally don't agree with it. I could see a judge saying, I don't agree with it. I don't want to be responsible for this. I'm going to let a jury do it. Because even if you don't agree with something, you got to follow the laws that are in place by Congress and what's written in the Constitution. And even if you personally don't think it's a good idea, and maybe they don't want that responsibility to fall on top of them, and maybe they're like, you know what, let me put this on somebody else.
Judge Torres is a straight G. She ain't doing that. She ain't scared. Robin, I want to move on to
a shout out. Yes.
Okay.
If you're new here, say hello so we can drop an hola at you. We got DJ Mitchell up in here, also
DJ,
someone we met as well,
DJ.
and American Therapy, Isaiah, Whitdet, Ben said, DT Wick 589, really long name. We also have Free Amith, AK, and Verhoofy Floofin.
What about Vlad?
Vlad. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
I want to move on to temperatures, right? Do you? Never mind. It's not going to be a funny joke. I'll get that womp 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 from your boy Rock over there.
That's right.
This is not a joke. Fahrenheit has won Celsius bid in the bankruptcy court hearing. They win the bid to acquire assets of insolvent crypto lender Celsius. The Arrington Capital-backed grouping beat fellow bidder Nova Wolf for the Celsius assets. Some context here. Valued at around $2 billion, that was the assets were previously valued at. We're talking about Celsius assets, of course. The group will acquire the institutional loan portfolio, staked cryptocurrencies, mining unit, and additional alternative investments, and must pay a deposit of $10 million within 3 days to cement the deal. Fahrenheit is a consortium of buyers that includes venture capital firm Arrington Capital and minor U.S. Bitcoin Corporation. Under the terms of the deal, the new company will get between $450 and $500 million in liquid cryptocurrency, and U.S. Bitcoin Corp will construct a range of crypto mining facilities, including a new 100-megawatt plant. Now, this must still be approved by regulators to finalize the acquisition, and bankruptcy court judge Martin Glenn warned regulatory roadblocks could plague the sale of Celsius, i.e. Voyager, right? The biggest example. Just for some context here, the total value of the stake tokens that Celsius is trying to withdraw is worth roughly $437 million, and the company still holds an additional 188,000 staked ETH, which is worth another $342 million. Now, A purchase of assets, you can argue, is a good thing versus liquidating. Imagine all that ETH, if that had been liquidated to pay back creditors, obviously we know that would be bad for the price of Ethereum in the short term, which would, means a buying opportunity for most of you if you believe in Ethereum. But what are your thoughts on this? This is obviously going to help creditors. It sounds like they're going to look to restart or restructure the company, different name, use the assets, or pay people back. But the important thing is not liquidating, right? You agree that if they were to liquidate all the crypto in their portfolio and everything else they have, it would be negative for crypto prices. Correct?
Yeah, I mean they would sell it over the counter, so I'm sure they would work with exchanges so it wouldn't crash order books. But that amount of crypto, there's no way it doesn't.
That amount of ETH is a lot.
Yeah, there's no way that doesn't move the price, and not to mention just the headline alone would freak people out. And
let me ask you this question.
Interesting.
Let me ask you this question, Robin.
What's up?
If the SEC or the DOJ doesn't step in like they did with the Binance deal and say, hold up,
I think they would.
wait a minute, but if they don't,
Okay.
does that say more to that they are after Binance or that they have something against Binance? Or it's just the deal was better?
Is Fahrenheit a U.S.-based company? I think if it's a U.S. company buying a U.S. company, I think they're going to have
But
less
Binance
roadblocks.
US is technically a US company.
Yeah, but we know it's not a U.S. company.
Okay, but technically, bro,
It
we're
doesn't-
talking technicalities
But
here.
I'm talking about like what the SEC, what regulators, the DOJ, what the Congress is looking at, what has been constantly echoed when it comes to Binance. It's China, China, China.
China.
It's what has just been repeatedly echoed. I don't think that's gonna change, man. And if Fahrenheit is outside the U.S., I mean, I'm sure you'll probably pull it up by the end of the show. But if they're a U.S. based company, I think they're gonna have less pushback. I will say that if anybody tries to take my Celsius, I've already drank it all. No.
Go ahead. You're not going to play that womp, womp, womp?
I did play
Yeah,
it.
maybe I need to clean my ears out, I guess.
So-
Only when it comes to Robin, I don't hear it. It's weird.
That's right. It's interesting. All this really is the whales, the big money out here, just making money off of locked up assets. Right? They're paying a certain percentage of the full price of assets, and then in turn getting people some kind of money back. But but they're skimming, right? That's all it is. When somebody buys your debt, if you got debt, say you have a credit card debt. You've seen it before. Someone will buy your debt. All of a sudden, you owe another credit agency. If you're here in the States, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you've ever had any credit card debt, it goes from one hand to the other. They're just selling your debt, and then the next company is making money off of your debt. And next thing you know, you owe them even more money than the original debt was what it was. Remember, you owe Visa, say $1,000. By the time it goes to a credit agency, you owe them $1,800, right? That's the cost. And I know debt's different than assets being taken from you, but same premise. Companies are coming in, buying up your assets that are locked up, and then profiting off of you and giving you pennies on the dollar. And even then, it's way later in the game. So you got to wait 3-4 years to get your money back. Kind of a crappy system we live in, right? That's why custody your own crypto, cold storage, hardware wallet. Yay. What else you got?
I'm just, hold on. Just give
You
me,
looking up at that Fahrenheit thing?
yeah, 10 seconds. Okay, here we go. Fahrenheit LLC. No, that manufactures furniture products. We'll find it out. But I want to move on. Okay, so you remember, or it was last week or Monday or something, we talked about the SEC sending a letter out to Grayscale saying, Filecoin, we believe, is a security. You should probably not do the Grayscale trust on Filecoin. Well, one person believes there is a way to circumvent the SEC and kind of stay out of their way. And that person is Mark Cuban. Here's his idea. Billionaire Mark Cuban weighs in on SEC's recent claims of branding Filecoin a security. It's a source from Bitcoinist. Cuban suggested ways crypto firms can avoid future SEC lawsuits on potential securities law violations. Mark Cuban narrated a scenario. Pay attention here, Robin. Mark Cuban narrated a scenario where crypto issuing firms could evade an SEC lawsuit by releasing their entire token supply without leaving treasury reserves. Cuban suggested that the companies use their tokens for liquidity on DeFi applications, then dissolve the original entity that released those tokens, circling in the secondary market without direct ties to the underlying blockchain. The billionaire tagged his idea true decentralization that will prevent regulators like the SEC from closing down the token like it's trying to do with Filecoin and others. Now, the biggest detractor said, well, that would mean that everything gets released at once, and that's not necessarily a positive thing, to which this person at Kyle ST4 Garden on Twitter said if it doesn't work with protocol emissions, etc., all the tokens have to be generated up front, which is very limiting. But he said, although a smart contract could hold the token supply and release them in a manner that's predetermined or controlled by governance.
Bam.
Got the wheels turning here a little bit?
Mark Cuban, my man.
So you're saying,
I'm not saying.
So what Cuban's saying?
Cuban is saying.
So he's saying, release the tokens,
Release all of them.
release the Kraken.
Have no treasury reserve, so there's no entity holding any of the
And
tokens.
so instead of a company holding it,
A
you
smart
lock it
contract
up in a
holds it.
smart contract. But the smart contract, that wasn't Cuban, right?
That's somebody else.
No,
That's
this
somebody
was,
else.
this
Yeah.
was this user on
So
Twitter.
Cuban's just saying, just release the tokens, then we're free of being a.
Who are
Because
they
remember,
gonna
it's a in a capital. What's the four prongs of the Howey test? In an
investment in expecting to make money.
this one.
On
In
the
a common
backs of
enterprise.
common enterprise.
So it wouldn't be a common enterprise if the enterprise doesn't have any tokens, right? I think that's where it breaks the Howey test, right?
I mean,
If there's no company, that's why Bitcoin is likened to a commodity, because there's no common enterprise there, right? There's no Bitcoin headquarters.
BTCHQ.
And so if you have all your tokens out there and you're not holding any, hey, you're not the boss. You're not the common enterprise, right? Naughty Ways says, hola!
I doubt that's how he said it, but
That's how he said it.
hey, seriously though, man, is Cuban onto something? Because you can program smart contracts just like the way a trust works, right? A trust works, hey, when my kid turns 18, and if they have a GPA over 4 and they
I'll
work
say
18
this.
hours a month, then release X amount of money, and you have.
makes sense after a project is developed, right?
Well, obviously,
in
you
looking
mean-
in Filecoin.
He's talking
What
about
would
token
scare
release,
me? Yeah,
which
yes. But what scares me is that if this becomes the norm, all of a sudden you got all these, you got these new projects that are coming out that are SEC compliant, that have all the tokens out there, and everyone's dumping on everyone, and you don't trust, smart contracts are written in a way that get exploited later on, or there's vulnerabilities. Now imagine this. You got a smart contract that gets drained. Now imagine all Filecoin guys, you know what I mean? Like, at least if Filecoin has the tokens, we saw it with Harmony as an example. Harmony had most of the liquidity, right? Or a lot of the tokens, and then they got compromised, right? Because their security wasn't tight enough. They had seed phrases laying around, and somebody got a hold of majority of the Harmony tokens. Let's just say Filecoin, they're holding their tokens. They got it under lock and key, right? They probably have all kinds of but
that can also be exploited too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
So there's risk on either side.
And I'm not saying that there isn't risk there, but generally speaking, you're not worried about Filecoin messing up the tokens they have. You're not worried about IOHK losing all their treasury assets. No, because these companies have put safeguards in place, and because you're not vulnerable to attacks on the internet because you're holding those off chain. You're not part of the ecosystem that's plugged in. The only way you can really get a hold of those is by compromising the physical people that are holding it. Now, if it's in a smart contract, all I'm saying is that I feel like there's probably more likelihood that those get attacked by hackers because they're always plugged in.
But I'm sure, but the more possibility, but I'm sure there's stopgaps they can put in place. I'm sure there's certain levels of security they can put in place, and I don't know the answer to that because I'm not.
The contract is letting those come out, and so they're releasing them, and so we've seen that people are freaking smart, man. Hackers are smart, and if you take, let's just say Filecoin does it right, but then all of a sudden all the cryptos want to do the same thing, or let's just say a majority of cryptos want to do the same thing. Now all of a sudden you have 20, 200, 2,000, whatever it is, different projects doing the same thing, putting all their tokens on a smart contract. You don't think that a few of them are going to get compromised? You can't even build a bridge without that thing falling apart nowadays. And now you're going to put the whole treasury of a crypto on a smart contract and be like, it's unhackable. I'm just saying that. Be careful what you ask for.
Your love, fool.
But I do like the idea. I do like the fact that
it's intriguing, right?
Yeah. It brings up a great thought experiment. I think it's good. You know what? You can flip the bird to the SEC and be like, hey, guess what? Ain't no company running this up in here. Ain't no company running this.
Ain't no company up in here.
Back up.
Back up. Speaking of backing up, I want to back up our channel sponsor, Cam's Blue Wire Technology. Today's show is brought to you by them. If you'd like more information, visit bluewiretech.com or simply click the link in the description of this video. We hope you guys enjoyed the show today. I felt great. Rob was amped up, probably drank too many Celsiuses or Celsius, however you pronounce the... Make sure to come back tomorrow, same time, same place. Rocco. Guys, we love you. Thank you for tuning in. Come back tomorrow. We're going to end the week off with a bang. In the meantime, enjoy the outro music. Compliments of Cassius Cube.
Sin City, crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in. For big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Named according to your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to